What should Nigeria do if America makes good its threat to undertake military action in the country? I'm now joined by Dr. Yahuza Getso, a terrorism research and community-based crimes consultant. Thank you so much for being on the Newsnight, and we do appreciate your patience.
Thank you for having me.
Quite a bit.
It's a great pleasure.
So, you've been following developments, I presume. AFRICOM is now said to have drawn up possible scenarios if America was to take out President Donald Trump's threat of military action against terrorists in Nigeria. But what would those plans actually look like on ground here in Nigeria?
Well, I think I first of all need to commend the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for remaining calm, for being quiet, and for pursuing the diplomatic proceedings.
When you say quiet, is that positive or negative? Quiet in what way?
Positive. Simply because they have blown the ball today by mentioning that very clear that they are pursuing the diplomatic proceedings.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that Nigeria have friends and allies across all the diplomatic lines, as well as the U.S. government also have a diplomatic allies and friends all over. So I'm very confident and optimistic that Nigerian government must have been pursuing the diplomatic proceeding through the allies of U.S. government and also Nigeria's allies. And remember, there are other influential individual personalities who are Nigerians, who are also very close allies of President Donald Trump. You may know them, I may know them, we may not know them. But Nigerian government knows them, and they know the process at which they wanted to do and handle the situation amicably. Of course, the statement being credited by Donald Trump and all other proceedings, the subsequent statements, I consider it as a more of political and economic positions. They are not really focusing on the genocide. But probably the American government wanted to use the genocide against Christians as a means to an end. But the reality is just focused on economic and political circumstance. Because when you look at the theater of the criminals and criminality in Nigeria, when bandits or IPOB or ISWAP or Boko Haram want to commit their offenses or want to conduct their activities, they don't normally separate either you are a Muslim here or you are a Christian here. So the militia, they are not after Christian, neither after the Muslims. In some instances where many cases happen in Plateau, Benue and other places where examples are being amplified, it says, and I quote, unknown gunmen. Nobody says that Muslim militia, and nobody in the mosque where Muslims were attacked in many parts of the northern Nigeria, nobody says Christian militia. So it doesn't look sensible even to look at it that way.
Okay, but
because when you look at the history and the context in general, it is not speaking that the criminal theater is looking at any perspective of religious
Dr. Getso, why you make valid points there? I mean, the question on ground is where we are at the moment. The AFRICOM has drawn up plans following President Donald Trump's orders. How would that look like on ground in Nigeria? And how should Nigeria prepare? What should we be doing in that instance? Because as we all know, President Trump has been very vocal about this. He is described as an unpredictable individual. I mean, he's tweeted this on Truth Social. AFRICOM has now drawn up plans. What should be the response and what will it look like?
I think the response should be outlined in quick way.
Okay.
One, Nigerian government should see to its responsibility to reach out to the criminals wherever they are and deal with them accordingly in order to inform the American government and all other nations that are looking at it as a genocide against Christians that Nigerian government is ready to bring an end to it. Three, there should be a kind of collaboration and partnership on conducting need assessment of what Nigeria needs in terms of support, both technical, financial, and operational for the U.S. government. Yes, of course, the AFRICOM is quite welcome, but they should come in order to boost the morale of Nigerian military and paramilitary, Nigerian security architecture, so that they can work together as a machinery towards wiping out the bedeviling security challenges in the country. And number four, Nigerian government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must check the corruption and the judiciary, because there are issues surrounding judiciary and the corruption that is making it very difficult for Nigeria to have attained, going by the amount of money you have had. The Minister of Finance is talking about Nigeria relied so much on many things based on borrowal. Yes, of course, Nigeria have borrowed too much more than enough money in order to deal with the security situation in the country. So let's be realistic, let's be honest, and Nigerian government must be transparent, and also those who were found wanting and have an involvement directly or indirectly should be immediately prosecuted and be dealt with. Nigerian government have said many times that they are going to release the list of finances of activities of these criminals. Where is that list? Why can't we have the list and identify those who are involved and deal with them decisively? We know the criminals. We know where they are. We know who they are. We know their parents. We know their poor parents. They are not foreigners. They are Nigerians. So why can't we tell the international community that we are serious?
But we've heard from governors, some governors in the past, who say these are foreigners who cross our porous borders. We've also heard from other governors who say we know them, they are Nigerians. So do we really even understand what we are dealing with and who we are dealing with? Well, when you highlight all of these 7 points, in the space of time that we have, one wonders if Nigeria can achieve this in what time frame as President Donald Trump takes his decision.
Let me tell you, if we are serious, honest, and sincere, we can handle this matter within 17 days. I have said it. Those governors who claim that there are foreigners who are involved, yes, of course. I cannot say that there are no foreigners, but the number is very minute. And it's involved mostly few foreigners through the belt of Lake Chad Basin. But most of those who are operating within the North Central, Northeast, and many part of the Northwestern part of the country, they are Nigerians. I have done their profile by polling units, by political ward, by local government, and by state assembly, national assembly, and senatorial zones. So, and we have had many of these states, like Katsina, and some of them saying that they conduct dialogue with them, or what they call, what I call as a ceasefire sensitization meeting. Because it is just a ceasefire sensitization meeting. Or
non-kinetic measures that we're seeing.
You can't call it a non-kinetic measure. Because if it is a measure, then they could have dropped their arms, and then there should be a minute of meeting, there should be an agreed action point, there should be a recommendations. They wouldn't have been also going back to intimidate the communities they have, because they have gone back to their business. So if at all, Nigerian government will be serious, honest, sincere, and transparent, I want to tell you, within less than 17 to 32 days, we can be able to reach out to these guys. Those who are ready to surrender their arms should surrender their arms. Those who are not ready, kinetic approach should be utilized. It's very simple.
Okay. All right. You make it sound simple, but we'll watch and see. Thank you very much, Dr. Yahuza Getso, Terrorism Research and Community-Based Crimes Consultant, for your time.